Magic has always been a powerful force, stirring the hearts and minds of people across the world. It's more than just spells and rituals, it's the spark that connects humans to the unseen, the mysterious, and the divine. From the dawn of time, magic was a way for people to explain the world around them, to find comfort in the face of uncertainty, and to reach out for something greater than themselves. And at the center of this magic stood goddesses, figures whose powers seemed to touch every part of life, from the rising of the sun to the beating of the human heart. In ancient cultures, magic wasn't something separate from daily life. It flowed through everything, through the wind, the earth, and the stars. It whispered in the leaves of sacred trees, flickered in the glow of a candle, and hummed in the songs of rivers. People believed that everything had a spirit, that the world itself was alive, and that magic was a way to communicate with it. Goddesses were seen as the bridge between the ordinary and the extraordinary, holding the power to shape the very fabric of reality. When people needed rain for their crops, protection from enemies, or healing for the sick, they turned to these goddesses. These beings weren't distant or unreachable, they were part of everyday life. People whispered prayers to them in the fields, lit candles in their homes, and carved their images in stone and wood. Their magic was woven into the very soul of ancient cultures. Each goddess had her own unique powers, but they all shared one thing in common: they gave people hope. In times of fear, famine, and loss, the goddesses offered comfort and strength. They held the secrets of birth and death, love and war, growth and decay. To the people who believed in them, the goddesses weren't just figures of myth, they were protectors, guides, and friends. In ancient Egypt, the goddess Isis was known for her powerful magic. She wasn't just a goddess of fertility or motherhood, she was the one who could bring the dead back to life. When her beloved husband Osiris was killed, it was her magic that pieced him back together, bringing him back from the underworld. Her love was so strong, so unshakable, that it could even overcome death. People prayed to Isis when they needed protection, healing, or guidance. She was the mother, the healer, and the queen of magic. Her presence filled hearts with hope and courage. In Greece, there was Hecate, a goddess who stood at the crossroads, holding a torch in each hand. Her magic was wild and untamed, flowing through the night and the moonlight. She was the protector of those who wandered, those who had lost their way. She knew the paths that led to both life and death, light and darkness. Her magic was not just about spells, it was about choices, the power of decisions, and the courage to face the unknown. To those who feared the dark, she was a guide, lighting the way forward. In the far north, in the lands of the Norse, Freya was the goddess of love and magic. Her magic was called seer, a type of sorcery that allowed her to see the future and shape it. She could call forth visions, speak to spirits, and bend the will of nature. Freya wasn't just about beauty and romance, she was fierce, powerful, and wise. Her magic was a reminder that love, in all its forms, was a force stronger than any weapon or army. Her followers believed that through her, they could change their fate, find love, and gain wisdom beyond their years. These goddesses didn't just rule over the world of magic, they embodied it. Magic was their breath, their touch, their song. It wasn't something they used, it was part of who they were. And through them, people learned that magic wasn't about control or dominance. It was about connection, connection to the world, to others, and to the self. In ancient cultures, life was filled with uncertainties. The crops might fail, the rivers might flood, illness might strike without warning. Magic, through the goddesses, gave people a way to feel that they had some influence, some way to fight back against the chaos. Through rituals and prayers, they believed they could touch the divine, that they could ask for help, and that they would be heard. The goddesses were seen as protectors of the weak, the poor, and the forgotten. In times of despair, when nothing seemed to go right, people would turn to them, offering gifts and prayers, hoping for a glimpse of their favor. They knew that the goddesses' magic was not always gentle, it could be fierce, vengeful, and destructive, but they also knew that the goddesses were just, that they listened to the cries of the innocent. For the ancient people, the magic of the goddesses was a source of comfort. It reminded them that they were not alone, that even in the darkest times, there was a force greater than themselves, watching over them. This magic was not about grand gestures or flashy displays. Often, it was quiet and subtle, like a whisper in the wind or a ripple in a pond. But it was always there, waiting to be called upon in times of need. The goddesses were also teachers. Through their stories, they showed people how to use magic wisely. They warned of the dangers of selfishness, pride, and greed. They taught that magic was not just a tool, but a responsibility. To use magic meant to understand the balance of the world, to respect both life and death, creation and destruction. And most importantly, they taught that magic came from within, from the heart and soul of every person. In this way, the goddesses shaped not just the magical practices of ancient cultures, but their very beliefs about life and the world. They were a reminder that magic was not something separate from the world, but part of its very essence. Through them, people found strength, wisdom, and hope. Their magic was not about changing the world, it was about changing oneself, about finding the courage to face whatever came, knowing that the goddesses were by their side. In the quiet stillness of the night, when the world sleeps and the stars twinkle high above, there is a presence that watches over the crossroads. She stands at the edge of the unknown, holding her torches, guiding those who wander in the dark. Her name is Hecate, the goddess of magic, witchcraft, and the mysteries that lie beyond what we can see. She is not a figure of light or shadow alone, she is both. She moves through the world with a power that is as old as time, a force that stirs the soul and awakens something deep within us. Hecate's connection to the moon is undeniable. As the moon waxes and wanes, so too does her influence grow and fade. In the full moon's glow, her power is at its peak, and in its shadow, she walks the world unseen. The moon has always held a special place in the hearts of those who practice magic. Its cycles represent the ebb and flow of life itself, the rise of hope, the fall of sorrow, the promise of renewal. Hecate, with her triple aspect, embodies these cycles. She is the maiden, the mother, and the crone, all at once. Each phase of the moon reflects her changing face, her ever-shifting power. People believed that under the moon's light, Hecate could open the door to hidden knowledge. She wasn't a goddess of simple spells or tricks, her magic was the kind that changed the very essence of things. It wasn't about changing a shape or casting a charm, it was about transformation, about guiding those who sought wisdom to understand the depths of their own souls. She was called upon in times of uncertainty, when the path ahead was unclear and choices needed to be made. At the crossroads, where one must choose which way to go, Hecate was there, watching, waiting. The crossroads were more than just a meeting place of roads. They were a place where worlds collided, the world of the living, the world of the dead, and the world of spirits. Standing at the crossroads meant standing between these worlds, caught between life and death, the known and the unknown. And Hecate was the guardian of this space. She was the one who could guide you through, or leave you lost forever. Her role as the goddess of the crossroads gave her a unique power, for it was in these moments of choice that true magic happened. A wrong step could lead to ruin, but with Hecate's guidance, one could find the way forward, even in the darkest of times. Witchcraft has long been associated with Hecate. She is the goddess of witches, the one who watches over their rites and rituals. In ancient times, witches would call upon Hecate in their spells, trusting her to lend her power to their magic. She was seen as a protector of those who practiced the craft, offering them her wisdom and strength. In the silence of the night, when the world was asleep, witches would gather in secret, lighting candles and speaking ancient words, knowing that Hecate was with them, her presence felt in the flickering flames and the cool night air. Her influence stretched far beyond ancient Greece. Even today, those who follow the path of witchcraft still honor Hecate. She is a symbol of power, wisdom, and transformation. Modern witches call upon her for guidance, just as their ancestors did. In their rituals, they seek her protection, her knowledge, and her strength. They look to her as a reminder that magic is not just about changing the world around them, it's about changing themselves. Hecate teaches that true magic comes from within, from the courage to face the unknown and make the hard choices that shape our lives. Hecate's connection to witchcraft is also tied to her role as a goddess of the underworld. She walks freely between the world of the living and the world of the dead, unafraid of what lies beyond. She guides souls to their final resting place, and in this way, she is both a guardian and a gatekeeper. To those who fear death, Hecate offers comfort. She shows that death is not an end, but a passage, a transformation. In ancient rituals, offerings were made to Hecate at the crossroads, left there in the dead of night for her and the spirits she watched over. These offerings were tokens of respect, given in the hopes that Hecate would protect them from harm and help them find their way in the dark. The ancient rituals dedicated to Hecate were filled with a sense of awe and reverence. People understood that they were calling upon a goddess who held the power of life and death in her hands. There was a certain fear in her worship, but it was the kind of fear that comes from understanding how small we are in the grand scheme of things. Hecate reminded people that there were forces beyond their control, forces that could not be tamed or fully understood. And yet, she also offered hope that, with her guidance, they could navigate the challenges ahead. Today, Hecate's influence is still felt in modern witchcraft. Her name is whispered in spells, her image is honored in rituals, and her stories continue to inspire. Those who walk the path of magic look to her for strength, for wisdom, and for the courage to face the unknown. Hecate is a reminder that magic is not always about the light. Sometimes, true power is found in the darkness, in the moments of uncertainty, when we stand at the crossroads of our lives and must choose which path to take. Hecate's magic is not just about casting spells or working rituals, it's about transformation, about understanding that every choice we make has the power to change us. She stands at the crossroads of life, holding her torches high, lighting the way for those who dare to follow. And in her presence, we are reminded that no matter how dark the night may seem, there is always a way forward, a path waiting to be found. In the golden sands of ancient Egypt, where the Nile flowed with life and the pyramids touched the sky, there was a goddess whose magic was unmatched. Her name was Isis, and she was not just a goddess of power, she was a mother, a healer, and a protector. Her magic was the kind that brought comfort to the broken, life to the lifeless, and hope to those who had lost everything. When people looked to Isis, they didn't just see a figure of myth, they saw a force of love so strong it could conquer death itself. Isis's magic was woven into the story of her beloved husband, Osiris. He was the god of the afterlife, or ruler of the dead, but before that, he was her partner, her heart. Together, they ruled over Egypt with kindness and wisdom. But jealousy tore through their world when Osiris's own brother, Set, betrayed him. In a fit of rage and envy, Set killed Osiris, cutting his body into pieces and scattering them across the land. It was a moment of unimaginable sorrow. Osiris was gone, and with him, the light that had filled Isis's heart. But Isis wasn't one to let the darkness win. Her magic wasn't like the kind we see in tales of wizards and sorcerers. It came from something deeper, something that pulsed with the rhythm of life itself. Isis's magic was born from love. She set out on a journey to find every piece of Osiris, no matter how long it took, no matter how far she had to go. She searched the rivers, the forests, the deserts, calling on the spirits, asking for their help. With each piece she found, her heart broke a little more, but she pressed on, determined to bring him back. Her tears were like prayers, falling to the earth, and her magic answered. When at last she had gathered all of Osiris's broken pieces, she used her magic to restore him. But it wasn't just the act of putting his body together, it was the power of her love that breathed life back into him. She sang ancient songs, whispered words that held the power of the gods, and wrapped her magic around him like a blanket of light. Osiris, once lost to the underworld, opened his eyes, and in that moment, death itself was defeated. It wasn't a grand spectacle, it was the quiet, tender power of a goddess who loved so deeply that even death could not take that from her. But Isis's magic didn't end there. She was also the mother of Horus, the falcon-headed god, the child she had with Osiris. When Set learned of Horus's birth, he wanted to destroy him, to erase any trace of Osiris's legacy. Isis, knowing the dangers that lay ahead, used her magic to protect her son. She hid him in the marshes, far from the eyes of Set, raising him in secret. Her magic wove through every day of their lives, keeping him safe from harm, shielding him from those who wished him dead. It wasn't just spells and enchantments that protected Horus. It was the fierce love of a mother, the kind that would move mountains to keep her child safe. Isis's magic was in her strength, her endurance, and her ability to face the unimaginable. She taught Horus to be strong, to fight for what was right, to take his place as the rightful ruler of Egypt. And when the time came for Horus to face Set in battle, it was Isis's magic that gave him the courage to stand tall. Isis wasn't just a goddess of magic, she was a healer, too. She knew the pain of loss, the ache of love, and the weight of responsibility. Her magic could heal the sick, mend the broken, and bring peace to those who were suffering. People called upon Isis when their loved ones were on the edge of death, when illness had taken hold and hope seemed distant. They believed that Isis's magic, the same magic that brought Osiris back to life, could heal their wounds, too. And it wasn't just the body she healed, it was the heart, the spirit, the very essence of what made a person whole. Her magic touched everyone, from kings to commoners. People would pray to her, leave offerings in her temples, and ask for her protection in times of need. Her name was spoken with reverence, not out of fear, but out of love. Isis was not a goddess who demanded sacrifices or obedience. She was a goddess who gave, who cared, who understood what it meant to suffer and to love. Her magic was the kind that wrapped around you like a warm embrace, holding you close when the world felt cold and unforgiving. Isis's influence stretched far beyond Egypt. Her magic was so powerful, so filled with love, that people from all corners of the ancient world called upon her. She became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there was a force that could bring light, that could heal. Her story, her magic, lived on in the hearts of those who believed in her. Her magic wasn't just about changing the world, it was about changing the soul. It was the kind of magic that made you believe that no matter how broken something might be, it could be put back together. That love, when it was strong and true, could overcome anything, even death. Isis taught that magic wasn't something to be feared, it was something to be embraced, something that lived in the heart of every person who had ever loved and lost. And so, in the sands of Egypt, under the watchful eye of the Nile, the story of Isis continues. She is the goddess who heals, who protects, who brings life to the lifeless. Her magic is not just a force, it is a promise. A promise that even in the face of the greatest darkness, there is always hope. Always love. Always magic. In the misty hills of ancient Celtic lands, where the wind whispered secrets through the trees and the rivers seemed to hum with ancient power, there was a goddess who held the key to transformation. Her name was Ceridwen, and in her hands, she carried the magic that could change lives, reshape destinies, and turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. But her magic wasn't simple, and it wasn't easy. It was the kind of magic that came with deep understanding, a magic that could take you to the edge of who you were and bring you back as someone entirely new. At the heart of Ceridwen's power was her cauldron. This was no ordinary vessel, it was a symbol of the most profound kind of transformation. From this cauldron came wisdom, knowledge, and change, but it required time, patience, and the willingness to embrace what lay ahead. The cauldron's magic was not a quick fix or a simple spell, it was the slow and deliberate brewing of something greater. Those who sought her cauldron's power knew they were asking for more than just a change in circumstance, they were asking to be reshaped from the inside out. Ceridwen's cauldron was where life itself could be transformed. It was said that the brew inside held the divine inspiration that granted wisdom and prophecy. But the path to that wisdom was not an easy one. Ceridwen's magic was fierce, demanding, and deeply personal. It required sacrifice and endurance, for true transformation is not something that can be rushed. Just as the ingredients in her cauldron needed time to boil and meld, so too did the hearts and souls of those who sought her magic. They needed to be willing to endure the heat, to be broken down and remade, just as the herbs and waters in her cauldron were transformed into something new. The most well-known tale of Ceridwen's magic is that of her son, Morfran. Born with a dark appearance, Morfran was seen as ugly, and Ceridwen, in her love for him, wanted to grant him something far more precious than beauty. She wanted to give him the gift of wisdom, the kind of knowledge that could surpass anything the physical world could offer. She brewed a potion in her cauldron for a year and a day, knowing that the first 3 drops would grant the wisdom and understanding she wished for him. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. A boy named Gwion Bok, tasked with stirring the cauldron, accidentally received the first 3 drops of the potion. In that moment, he was forever changed. His mind was flooded with knowledge, his soul filled with understanding that he had never asked for, never sought. He was transformed, but with that transformation came fear. He knew Ceridwen's wrath would be fierce, for the potion had been meant for her son, not for him. And so began a chase like no other. Gwion fled, using the newfound power of the potion to change his form again and again. He became a hare, swift and nimble, but Ceridwen became a greyhound, fast and relentless. He became a fish, slipping into the waters, but she became an otter, gliding through the streams with ease. He became a bird, soaring into the sky, but she became a hawk, sharp-eyed and swift. Each time he changed, she followed, her magic matching his, her determination unyielding. Ceridwen was not just a goddess of transformation, she was transformation itself, embodying the power of change in its rawest, most unstoppable form. Finally, Gwion transformed into a grain of wheat, hoping to hide in the earth, but Ceridwen, relentless and unforgiving, became a hen and swallowed him whole. It seemed, for a moment, that the chase had ended, that Gwion's transformation had led him to his end. But even then, Ceridwen's magic was not done. For within her, Gwion grew, reborn as the poet Taliesin, one of the greatest figures in Welsh mythology. His transformation was complete, not just in form, but in spirit. He had been through the fires of change and emerged something entirely new, shaped by Ceridwen's fierce and unyielding magic. Ceridwen's role in Celtic magic wasn't just about transformation of the body, it was about the transformation of the soul. She held the power to grant wisdom, but that wisdom came with a price. Those who sought her magic had to be willing to face themselves, to confront the parts of their lives that needed to change, and to endure the process of being reshaped. It was a magic that didn't offer shortcuts or easy answers. It was hard, it was painful, and it was powerful. But in the end, it was worth it. In the hearts of the Celtic people, Ceridwen was a figure of both fear and reverence. Her cauldron was the source of life and death, of endings and beginnings. To call upon her was to ask for transformation in its truest form, the kind that left nothing unchanged. She was the goddess who could take you apart and put you back together, stronger, wiser, and more in tune with the world around you. Ceridwen's magic was not just for the few, it was for anyone brave enough to face the fires of transformation. She showed that change is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced, something that could take the most broken parts of us and make them whole again. Her cauldron was the symbol of this magic, a reminder that within each of us lies the power to be reborn, to be transformed, if only we are willing to endure the process. And so, in the misty hills and quiet forests, Ceridwen's name was spoken with awe. Her cauldron bubbled with the promise of change, her magic flowing through the land like the rivers that wound through the Celtic world. She was a goddess who understood that true transformation could not be rushed, that it took time, patience, and a willingness to be remade. Her magic, ancient and powerful, was not about the quick or the easy, it was about the deep, lasting change that comes from the heart, from the soul. Through Ceridwen, the Celts learned that transformation was not just a matter of changing form or appearance. It was about changing who you were at the very core of your being. Her magic showed that wisdom and knowledge were not things to be gained lightly, they had to be earned, through patience, through sacrifice, through the willingness to be transformed in ways you could never imagine. In the cold, wild lands of the north, where the sky stretched endlessly, and the earth seemed to hum with ancient power, there was one goddess who stood apart from all others. Freya, the Norse goddess of love, beauty, and war, held in her hands a magic so powerful that it could bend fate itself. Her mastery of seer, a form of Norse magic, made her not only a figure of beauty and grace, but also a force of raw, untamed power. Seer was not just any kind of magic. It was a mysterious and dangerous art, one that few dared to practice. It allowed those who mastered it to see into the future, to alter the threads of destiny, and to cast powerful spells that could shape the very fabric of reality. And Freya, with her golden hair and piercing eyes, was the greatest seer practitioner the world had ever known. She could weave spells that moved like the wind, subtle yet unstoppable, touching everything in their path. But Freya's magic was not born from cold calculation or desire for control. Her power flowed from a deeper, more emotional place, love. In her world, love and magic were intertwined, two sides of the same coin. It wasn't just romantic love that gave her strength, but love in all its forms, love for family, for life, for the beauty that exists even in the harshest moments. Freya understood that love was the most powerful force in the world, capable of driving people to great heights or bringing them to their knees. It was said that Freya could move hearts with a glance, that her beauty was so profound it left men and gods alike awestruck. But beneath that beauty lay a will of iron, a heart that knew both joy and sorrow, and a mind sharp enough to understand that love was not always gentle. Love, in its purest form, could be fierce, protective, and even destructive when threatened. Freya's magic was born from this understanding, that love could heal, but it could also shatter. One of the most well-known stories of Freya's magic is tied to her deep connection with her beloved husband, Ar. Their love was legendary, but like all great loves, it was marked by loss and longing. Ar often disappeared for long periods, leaving Freya to search for him, her heart aching with the pain of separation. She would weep tears of red gold, her sorrow so deep that it left a mark on the world. Yet, despite her pain, she never stopped loving him. Freya's love was not weakened by distance or loss, it was strengthened by it. And it was this love that fueled her seer. Freya's magic was as fierce as the love she carried, and she used it to search for Ar, calling upon the winds and the stars to guide her. She would transform into a falcon, soaring across the skies in her search, her wings cutting through the cold air as she followed her heart. Through her magic, she reached out to him, her love stretching across the vast distances that separated them. Freya's connection to Seer also tied her to another aspect of life that was often overlooked, beauty. But beauty, in Freya's eyes, was not the surface-level glamour that fades with time. It was the deeper, more lasting kind of beauty that comes from within, the beauty of strength, courage, and passion. Freya saw beauty in the wild landscapes of her homeland, in the quiet moments of peace after battle, and in the faces of those who loved with all their hearts. Her magic reflected this. It wasn't just about seeing into the future or casting spells, it was about seeing the beauty in the world, even when it was hidden beneath layers of pain or fear. Freya's seer was a way of connecting with that beauty, of drawing it out and making it stronger. She used her magic to protect those she loved, to bring peace where there was chaos, and to remind people that even in the darkest moments, there is still beauty to be found. In the battlefield, Freya was no less powerful. She led the Valkyries, fierce warrior women who chose the bravest warriors to bring to her hall, Folkvanger. There, the fallen would find peace and honor in the afterlife, under the watchful eye of the goddess who had guided them through their final battle. Freya's magic wasn't limited to love in the traditional sense. She loved her warriors, the ones who had fought bravely and died with honor. Her love for them was fierce, protective, and unwavering. This connection between love, beauty, and seer was what made Freya truly unique. Her magic wasn't separate from her emotions, it was born from them, intertwined with her deepest feelings and desires. She didn't wield magic to gain power or control over others. She used it because she understood the strength that came from love, the way it could shape the world, bend fate, and change lives. Freya's seer was feared and respected by all, even by the gods themselves. Odin, the All-Father, was said to have learned the art of seer from Freya, though even he could not match her skill. She was the true master, the one who could see through the veils of time and destiny, shaping the future with the power of her magic. But for all her strength, there was a gentleness to Freya as well. She understood the delicate balance between love and pain, beauty and sorrow. She knew that to love deeply was to risk loss, but she loved anyway, with all her heart, and it was this that made her magic so powerful. Freya's seer wasn't just about changing the world, it was about changing hearts, about showing people the strength that comes from love, and the beauty that lies within all of us. Her magic, born from love and beauty, was both fierce and tender. It could heal, protect, and guide, but it could also bring the hardest truths to light. Freya's seer was a reminder that love is not just about joy and happiness, it's about the willingness to endure pain, to face the darkness, and to come out stronger on the other side. It was a magic that could move mountains, because it came from the heart of a goddess who understood the true power of love. There was a woman whose very name sent shivers down the spine of ancient sailors, whose beauty hid a force that could turn the mightiest of men into helpless creatures. Circe, the enchantress of Greek mythology, stood on the lonely island of Aiaia, watching the world with eyes that held both power and mystery. She was no ordinary sorceress. Her magic was feared, respected, and, at times, loathed. Those who dared to cross her path would never leave unchanged. Circe's powers were unlike anything the world had seen. She had the ability to transform anything or anyone at will. With a single spell, a wave of her hand, she could take the strength and will of a person and twist it into something entirely different. It was said that she could make a mighty warrior fall to his knees, stripping him of his pride and turning him into nothing more than an animal. It wasn't just her magic, it was the way she used it, with a cold precision that made her one of the most feared figures in mythology. Her story is filled with moments that are both chilling and heart-wrenching. When Odysseus, the hero of the Trojan War, and his men found themselves on Circe's island, they could not have imagined what awaited them. Lured by the promise of food and comfort, Odysseus' men entered Circe's home, only to be greeted by a magic they could not comprehend. One by one, she transformed them into swine, their human forms dissolving as they squealed in terror. It wasn't the physical transformation that made the moment so terrifying, it was the way Circe did it, without hesitation, as if it was as natural to her as breathing. But Circe's magic was not born from malice alone. There was something deeper driving her actions, a loneliness that clung to her even as she wielded such great power. She lived in isolation, shunned by the world, feared by all who knew her name. It was this isolation that fueled her magic, that gave her the power to manipulate and control those who dared to approach her. Circe wasn't just a sorceress, she was a woman who had been pushed aside by society, her magic both a gift and a curse. In her hands, transformation was more than just a change of form, it was a statement. Circe's magic was a way for her to protect herself from the cruelty of the world, to remind those who thought they could control her that she was not to be underestimated. But it was also a reflection of her inner pain, the loneliness that had followed her all her life. She could change others, but she could never change the one thing she longed for most, her own fate. Despite her fearsome reputation, there was a tenderness in Circe, hidden beneath the layers of power and manipulation. When Odysseus confronted her, demanding the release of his men, Circe didn't strike him down. Instead, she took him into her confidence, sharing her bed with him and offering him her knowledge. She saw something in Odysseus that she had not seen in anyone else, a strength that matched her own, a will that could not be easily broken. For a time, Circe softened. She restored Odysseus' men to their human forms, welcoming them into her home as if they were friends, not enemies. But even in those moments of peace, the shadow of her magic lingered. Circe was still the same powerful sorceress, capable of turning love into something dangerous, of making even the strongest men question their own strength. Her legacy as a powerful enchantress is one of contradiction. She was feared, yes, but there was something about her that drew people in, a magnetic pull that made it impossible to look away. Her beauty was part of it, but it was more than that, it was the way she carried herself, with a quiet confidence that spoke of the power she held. Circe didn't need to flaunt her magic. She didn't need to prove herself to anyone. Her power was there, always simmering beneath the surface, waiting for the moment when it would be needed. But with that power came danger. Circe was not a goddess to be trifled with, and those who underestimated her paid the price. Her magic was as unpredictable as it was potent, and no one knew when or how she would choose to use it. One wrong step, one misplaced word, and the consequences could be disastrous. Circe's magic was not just a tool, it was a weapon, one that could change the course of a life in an instant. And yet, there was something tragic about Circe. For all her power, for all her strength, she was still alone. Her island was her prison as much as it was her home, a place where she could rule but never truly belong. Circe's magic was born from a need to control her world, but it was also a reflection of the loneliness that haunted her. She could change others, but she could never change herself. The image of Circe, standing on the shores of her island, watching the sea with eyes that held both sorrow and strength, is one that lingers. Her story is one of power, yes, but also of pain, of a woman who used her magic to protect herself from a world that had rejected her. Circe was dangerous, but she was also vulnerable, her magic both a shield and a burden. Her legacy as a sorceress is one that still resonates today. Circe represents the dual nature of magic, the way it can be both a gift and a curse, a source of strength and a reflection of inner turmoil. She is a reminder that power comes with a price, and that even the most powerful figures can carry the weight of loneliness and pain. Circe's story is one of transformation, not just for those who crossed her path, but for herself as well. She was constantly changing, constantly evolving, but at her core, she remained the same, a woman who had been wronged, who had been pushed aside, but who had found a way to take control of her fate, even if it meant living in isolation. Circe's magic was a reflection of her heart, fierce, protective, and, at times, heartbreakingly lonely. In the heart of the forest, where shadows stretch long and the trees whisper their secrets, there lives a figure both feared and revered. Her name is Baba Yaga, a being who straddles the line between myth and reality, kindness and cruelty. To some, she is a merciless hag, a devourer of souls, while to others, she is the wise grandmother, a guide in times of despair. Baba Yaga is the embodiment of contradiction, a force of nature who cannot be easily understood or tamed. Her house, perched on chicken legs, moves restlessly through the forest, never staying in one place for long. The windows seem like eyes, watching, waiting. Inside, Baba Yaga sits by her hearth, her iron teeth gleaming in the firelight. She is not like any other witch. She is older than time itself, her bones creaking with the weight of centuries. Her gaze pierces through the bravest of hearts, yet it is not always filled with malice. There is something deeper in her stare, something that speaks of ancient wisdom and forgotten power. Baba Yaga's nature is as wild as the forest she inhabits. She is unpredictable, capable of great kindness or devastating cruelty, depending on how she is approached. Many who seek her out do so with trembling hands, unsure of whether they will receive help or harm. For Baba Yaga does not give without testing those who come before her. She asks questions, sets impossible tasks, and watches with cold amusement as the weak fall and the strong rise. But those who pass her trials are often rewarded in ways they never expected. Baba Yaga may seem cruel, but she is not without purpose. She does not act out of sheer spite or malice. There is a reason behind every action, a lesson hidden in every challenge. Those who are wise enough to see beyond her terrifying exterior often leave her with gifts of immense power, knowledge, or insight. For Baba Yaga is a keeper of secrets, a guardian of ancient magic that few can comprehend. Her connection to the forest runs as deep as the roots of the oldest trees. The animals obey her commands, the winds shift at her will, and the very earth seems to bend to her desires. She is one with nature, a part of its cycles of life and death, growth and decay. Baba Yaga is not bound by human laws or morals. She is free in a way that few can ever be, living outside the constraints of society, answering to no one but herself. Yet, despite her fearsome power, Baba Yaga is not invincible. There is a loneliness in her, a sadness that lingers like mist in the early morning. She has lived for so long, seen so much, and yet remains apart from the world. She is a figure of both awe and dread, forever tied to the wilderness, forever distanced from the warmth of human connection. Perhaps it is this isolation that makes her so dangerous, for she is not swayed by the emotions that bind others. She can be cruel without guilt, kind without attachment. There are countless stories of those who have encountered Baba Yaga. Some speak of her as a wicked witch who preys on the weak, while others tell of her as a wise woman who grants wishes and bestows wisdom. In one tale, a young girl named Vasilisa is sent to Baba Yaga by her cruel stepmother, tasked with retrieving fire from the witch's hearth. With the help of a magical doll, Vasilisa completes the impossible tasks set before her and wins Baba Yaga's favor. She leaves the forest with the fire she sought, and much more, a newfound strength and courage that she never knew she possessed. But not all who meet Baba Yaga are so fortunate. Many have entered her forest, never to return. It is said that she has a taste for human flesh, that she lures the unsuspecting into her home only to feast on their bones. Her iron teeth are not just for show, they gleam with the remnants of those who have fallen victim to her darker side. Baba Yaga is not bound by the moral codes that govern the rest of the world. She takes what she wants, when she wants, and those who cross her path must be prepared to face the consequences. And yet, there is a sense of fairness in her cruelty. Baba Yaga does not harm without reason. Those who fail her tests are often those who come to her with greed or malice in their hearts. She sees through their deceptions, punishes their arrogance, and reminds them that the forest is not a place for the weak or the selfish. But those who approach her with humility, who show respect for her power, may find a different side of Baba Yaga, a side that offers guidance, protection, and even kindness. In Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is more than just a witch. She is a symbol of transformation, of the wild, untamed forces of nature that cannot be controlled or predicted. She is both life and death, creation and destruction. Her cauldron bubbles with magic that can heal or harm, depending on her whim. She is a gatekeeper between worlds, standing at the crossroads of life and death, guiding those who are brave enough to seek her wisdom. For all her terror, Baba Yaga represents something deeply human, a fear of the unknown, a longing for answers in a world filled with uncertainty. She is the embodiment of the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding, the forces that shape our world in ways we cannot always see. And though she may be frightening, there is something undeniably captivating about her. Baba Yaga reminds us that not everything can be explained or controlled, that there are powers in this world far greater than ourselves. Her legacy lives on in the stories passed down through generations, tales of her wickedness and wisdom, her cruelty and kindness. Baba Yaga is a figure who refuses to be defined by one thing or another. She is everything and nothing, a reflection of the complexities of life itself. To encounter Baba Yaga is to face the unknown, to confront the fears and desires that lie hidden within ourselves. And in that confrontation, we may just find the strength to become something more. There is a fire that burns in the heart of Ireland, a flame that has never gone out. It flickers with warmth and power, offering light in the darkest of times. This is not an ordinary fire, it belongs to Bridget, the goddess of inspiration, magic, and healing. Her presence is felt in every spark, in the heat of the forge, in the life-giving warmth that comes with the dawn. Bridget is more than just a goddess, she is the pulse of life itself, a beacon of hope that has guided the people of Ireland for centuries. Her magic is woven into the land. Wherever Bridget walks, the earth seems to come alive. Flowers bloom, waters flow, and the air feels thick with possibility. She is the goddess who can transform the ordinary into something extraordinary, and her influence is seen in the craft of the smiths, the healing hands of the wise women, and the hearts of poets who speak words that stir the soul. Bridget's fire is not just a physical flame, it is the fire of inspiration, the spark that ignites creativity and gives birth to new ideas. Bridget is often seen as a protector, a healer, and a source of life. Her power over fire is not one of destruction, but of transformation. In the forge, she watches over the blacksmiths as they shape iron, creating tools and weapons that sustain life and defend communities. The sound of hammer on metal echoes with her presence, each strike filled with purpose and skill. It is said that Bridget's touch can make the coldest iron glow with life, turning the hardest material into something pliable and full of potential. But her influence goes beyond the forge. Bridget's magic also lies in healing. In times of illness and despair, people would call upon her, knowing that she held the power to mend broken bodies and wounded hearts. Her wells, sacred springs scattered across the Irish landscape, were places of pilgrimage for those seeking her healing touch. The water, cool and clear, was said to carry her blessing, a reminder that even in the deepest pain, there is the possibility of renewal. She represents the belief that no matter how dire the situation, there is always a chance for recovery and rebirth. In the world of Druidic magic, Bridget's powers extended to the mind and spirit. She was the muse of poets, filling their words with emotion and meaning. The bards, revered in Celtic culture for their ability to weave stories and history into song, would often invoke Bridget's name when searching for the right words. It was her fire that burned within their hearts, guiding their hands as they wrote and their voices as they sang. In her, they found the inspiration that turned ordinary tales into legends, the kind of stories that would live on for generations. There's something tender about the way Bridget moves between these roles, between the fierce protector, the healer, and the bringer of light. Her magic is gentle, yet powerful. She doesn't need to wield fear or intimidation to make her presence known. Instead, she uses her gifts to nurture, to uplift, and to inspire. Her strength lies in her ability to see beauty where others see only hardship, to offer warmth when all feels cold, and to bring hope when there seems to be none. In Ireland, Bridget's flame was so revered that it was kept burning by priestesses at Kildare, a symbol of her never-ending presence in the world. Even when times were hard, when invasions threatened to snuff out the light of Irish culture, the flame of Bridget endured. It burned through the dark nights of history, a symbol of resilience and hope that could not be extinguished. For the people of Ireland, Bridget was more than a goddess of old tales. She was a living presence in their lives, a force that could be felt in every aspect of their world. Her influence was everywhere, from the fields that grew their crops to the poetry that filled their halls. She was the goddess they turned to in times of need, whether they sought healing for a loved one, protection for their home, or the courage to face an uncertain future. But it is perhaps in her role as a goddess of inspiration that Bridget's magic shines brightest. She doesn't just offer solutions to problems or answers to prayers. She lights a fire within the soul, encouraging those who call upon her to find their own strength, their own path. Bridget's gift is not to solve problems for people, but to give them the spark they need to solve them for themselves. This is where her true magic lies, in the way she empowers others, in the way her fire spreads from heart to heart, igniting passion, courage, and creativity wherever it goes. Bridget's enduring influence can still be felt today. Though centuries have passed, and the world has changed, the fire of Bridget continues to burn. In the stories told by the fireside, in the poems written by modern-day bards, in the sacred wells that are still visited by those seeking healing, Bridget remains a constant, a reminder that the magic of inspiration, healing, and fire is never far away. Her story is one of light and darkness, of hope and despair, and of the incredible power that lies in every heart. Bridget's fire may have started in the ancient past, but it continues to burn brightly in the present, a beacon for all who seek guidance, healing, and inspiration. And as long as there are people who need her magic, Bridget's flame will never go out. There is a whisper in the winds of ancient tales, a name that lingers like a shadow in the folds of time, Morgana le Fay. Her story, wrapped in mystery and power, has captured the hearts and minds of countless generations. She is not easily defined, for Morgana is both healer and sorceress, a figure who straddles the line between light and darkness. In her, there is a raw, untamed magic that defies the boundaries of what is expected, a force that pulses with both grace and danger. Morgana was once known as a healer. In the early legends, she stood as a figure of compassion and wisdom, her hands capable of mending the deepest wounds. She was a woman of knowledge, a wielder of magic that could soothe the suffering of those in need. People trusted her, and they came to her not out of fear but in hope. Her touch brought relief, and her presence was a balm in a world often torn by strife. The heart that beat within Morgana in these early days was one that sought to help, to protect, to nurture life. But something changed within her, something that turned her magic toward a darker path. It wasn't a sudden shift, but rather a slow unraveling of trust and betrayal, a breaking of bonds that left scars too deep to heal. Morgana, once the sister of King Arthur, became distant, her heart heavy with anger and sorrow. The very love she had once poured into her healing turned into a force of destruction. The legends tell of her transformation, of how the gentle healer became the feared sorceress, casting spells not to heal but to harm. Her evolution from healer to antagonist is not one of simple malice. Morgana's story is one of betrayal, of feeling cast aside and misunderstood. As Arthur's kingdom grew, so did her sense of isolation. She watched as her influence waned, as the people she once cared for turned away from her. The kingdom she had once felt part of became a source of pain, and in that pain, her magic changed. Her spells, once gentle and life-giving, became sharp and filled with vengeance. Morgana's power was immense. She was not just any sorceress, she was one who could bend the very fabric of reality to her will. Her mastery over magic made her both revered and feared. In the Arthurian legends, she is depicted as a formidable figure, one who could summon storms, cast enchantments, and see into the future. Yet, beneath all that power, there is always the sense that Morgana is driven by something deeper, something more human, her emotions, her broken heart, her desire for recognition and respect. There is no denying Morgana's strength, but it is a strength born of pain. In every spell she casts, and every act of rebellion against Arthur's court, there is a cry for understanding. She is not simply a villain. Morgana's actions, while destructive, come from a place of profound loss. She is a figure who has been wronged, whose voice has been silenced, and who uses her magic not just to harm, but to make herself heard. In many of the later stories, Morgana becomes Arthur's enemy, a figure of chaos and disruption. But even as she stands against him, there is still a thread of connection between them. She was once his sister, once someone who cared for him, and even in their battles, there remains the ghost of that bond. Her magic, while terrifying, is also tragic. It is the expression of someone who has been pushed too far, who has lost her way but still seeks some form of redemption. In some versions of the legend, Morgana's story ends not in victory or defeat, but in reconciliation. She is present at Arthur's final moments, a shadowy figure who returns to him when all seems lost. There, by his side as he faces his death, Morgana is not the vengeful sorceress but the healer once again. She is the one who takes him to Avalon, the magical isle where he is said to rest. In this final act, Morgana's dual nature comes full circle. She is both the destroyer and the savior, the one who sought his downfall and the one who ensures his peace. Morgana le Fay is a character who evokes strong emotions, not because she is a simple villain, but because she embodies the complexity of human nature. Her magic is as much a reflection of her inner turmoil as it is a force of the supernatural. She is not just a figure of fantasy, but a symbol of what happens when love turns to bitterness, when healing turns to harm. Morgana's story is one of heartbreak and resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is still the possibility of redemption. As a sorceress, Morgana's legacy is one that continues to resonate. She is both feared and admired, a woman whose magic defies the constraints placed upon her by society. She is the embodiment of strength, not because she is invincible, but because she is vulnerable. Her journey from healer to antagonist is a reflection of the struggles that many face, the battle between who they are and who they are expected to be, the pain of feeling left behind, and the power that comes from owning one's story, no matter how difficult it may be. Morgana le Fay stands as a testament to the complexity of the human spirit. Her magic, wild and untamed, is a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we possess the ability to shape our own destinies. And though her path may have been one of sorrow and conflict, it is also one of immense power, both in the world of Arthurian legend and in the hearts of those who hear her tale. In the shadows of ancient myths, there stands a figure who embodies defiance and unyielding strength. Lilith, the dark goddess of magic and rebellion, emerges from the darkness with a fierce glow. Her name resonates through the corridors of history as a symbol of feminine power, untamed and unapologetic. Her story is not merely one of supernatural prowess, but a profound declaration of independence and strength in the face of oppression. Lilith's tale begins in a world where her very existence was a challenge to the status quo. Unlike the traditional, docile archetypes often seen in ancient texts, Lilith represents something different, a fierce, assertive force who refused to be subdued. She is often depicted as the first wife of Adam, who, unlike Eve, would not submit to the constraints of a patriarchal society. Her refusal to be dominated, to yield to expectations, was met with scorn and punishment, casting her into the role of a rebellious outcast. Her connection to dark magic and the occult is not one of mere malevolence, but a reflection of her role as a powerful figure who operates beyond the bounds of conventional norms. Lilith's magic is said to be both potent and mysterious, rooted in the forces that challenge the traditional order. She is often associated with the night and the moon, symbols of the unseen and the unknown. In this darkness, she finds her strength, drawing from the very forces that others fear or reject. In various traditions, Lilith's image evolves but remains consistent in her embodiment of defiance. She is seen as a figure who resists control, who uses her power not to harm others, but to assert her own will. This resistance is a form of magic itself, a supernatural declaration that she will not be bound by the expectations and limitations placed upon her. Her story is one of empowerment, where the very traits used to demonize her become the sources of her strength. Lilith's role in the occult reflects this dual nature. She is both a symbol of fear and a beacon of empowerment. In some traditions, she is seen as a dark deity whose magic can be harnessed for personal strength and transformation. This portrayal is not about embracing evil but about acknowledging the power that comes from within, a power that defies the norms and transcends the ordinary. Lilith's connection to the occult represents the acceptance of darker aspects of existence, embracing them as part of the journey towards self-realization and power. The stories about Lilith are not merely cautionary tales, but rather reflections of the struggles faced by those who dare to challenge the status quo. She is often depicted as a demon or a seductress, but these labels are merely projections of fear onto a figure who represents something far more profound, a woman who refuses to be controlled. Her rebellion is not just against individual oppressors, but against the very structures that seek to suppress and subdue. Lilith's power is intertwined with her rejection of traditional roles. Her magic is a testament to the strength that comes from embracing one's true nature, even when it is at odds with societal expectations. This rejection is not born out of malice, but from a deep-seated desire for autonomy and self-expression. Lilith's story is one of courage, where her refusal to conform becomes her greatest strength. In her defiance, she finds a source of power that is both empowering and deeply personal. The fear that Lilith invokes is a testament to her power. It is not merely about the magic she wields, but about the challenge she represents to established norms. Her existence questions the boundaries of what is considered acceptable, pushing against the limits of societal expectations. In this way, Lilith becomes a symbol of all those who refuse to be defined by others, who seek to carve their own path despite the obstacles. Lilith's connection to the dark and the occult is a reflection of the power that lies in embracing the unknown. Her story encourages us to confront the aspects of ourselves and our world that we often shy away from, to see the potential for growth and empowerment in places that are traditionally seen as threatening or taboo. Her legacy is a reminder that true strength comes from accepting and harnessing all parts of ourselves, not just the ones that are comfortable or accepted by others. Her role as a goddess of rebellion and dark magic is a powerful narrative of strength and defiance. It tells the story of a woman who faced immense odds, who was labeled and misunderstood, but who continued to stand firm in her truth. Lilith's legacy is a testament to the strength that comes from within, from embracing one's own power and rejecting the limitations imposed by others. In the end, Lilith's story is a powerful reminder of the power of resilience and self-empowerment. Her magic, deeply rooted in rebellion and autonomy, serves as a beacon for those who seek to assert their own path in the face of adversity. Lilith is more than a figure from ancient myths. She is a symbol of the enduring power of the human spirit, a reminder that true strength comes from embracing one's own truth, no matter how dark or unconventional it may be. In the quiet corridors of ancient Egyptian belief, there exists a goddess shrouded in mystery and darkness, a figure who stands as a poignant contrast to the more well-known deities like Isis. This goddess is Nephthys, often seen as the hidden, shadowed counterpart to the radiant goddess of motherhood and magic. Her presence in the Egyptian pantheon is as essential as it is enigmatic, embodying aspects of life and death that are both sacred and profound. Nephthys is a goddess associated with the unseen, the mysterious, and the shadowy corners of existence. While Isis is celebrated for her nurturing and protective qualities, Nephthys embodies the quieter, more introspective aspects of the divine. Her name itself is a whisper in the dark, a reminder of the forces that work behind the scenes, unseen yet undeniably influential. Her role in funerary magic is where Nephthys' presence is most intensely felt. In the realm of death, she is not just a spectator but a vital participant. As the goddess who guards the dead, she offers protection and comfort to souls transitioning from the earthly realm to the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed that Nephthys had the power to guide and shield the departed, ensuring their safe passage through the dangers of the underworld. In funerary rites, her presence was crucial. She was often invoked to safeguard the deceased against malevolent forces that might threaten them during their journey. Her magical influence was thought to be a protective shield, a barrier against the chaos that could ensnare a soul lost between worlds. The rituals and spells performed in her name were not merely ceremonial, they were vital safeguards, imbuing the process of death with a sense of peace and assurance. Nephthys' connection to the dead is not merely about protection, but also about the reverence for the mysteries of death itself. Unlike other deities who might focus on life and renewal, Nephthys represents the quiet acceptance of the end of a journey and the beginning of a new one in the afterlife. Her role brings comfort to those grieving, as she embodies the profound respect and care given to the souls who have left this world. Her magic, although often overshadowed by the more overt powers of deities like Isis, is deeply potent in its own right. Nephthys is a goddess of hidden forces, her magic working in subtle and profound ways. She is a guardian of sacred knowledge, a protector of the soul's journey, and a keeper of the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of life. The contrast between Nephthys and Isis highlights the complexity of the divine in Egyptian mythology. While Isis is known for her vibrant acts of magic and healing, Nephthys operates in the shadows, her influence felt in the quiet moments of transition and transformation. Her role as a guardian of the dead offers a sense of continuity and protection, ensuring that the journey of the soul is met with care and respect. In the stories of the gods, Nephthys is often depicted alongside her husband, Set, who represents chaos and disorder. Despite her association with such a tumultuous figure, Nephthys maintains her role as a figure of support and protection. Her relationship with Set does not diminish her own power, but instead underscores her ability to bring order and comfort even amidst chaos. The rituals dedicated to Nephthys were deeply personal and profoundly significant. They were not just about appeasing a deity but about invoking her protective presence in the most vulnerable moments of life and death. Her worship was a way to seek reassurance and comfort, to ensure that the transition from life to the afterlife was met with grace and care. Nephthys' magic, while often less visible than that of other deities, is a crucial aspect of the ancient Egyptian understanding of the world. It is the magic of the unseen, the protection that is felt but not always seen. Her role in funerary practices highlights the importance of acknowledging and respecting the mysteries of death, of ensuring that every soul is given the protection and reverence it deserves. In the silent moments of a funeral, in the quiet prayers and rituals performed in her name, Nephthys' presence is felt deeply. She is a reminder of the profound respect for the journey of the soul and the sacred nature of death. Her role as a shadow goddess is a testament to the importance of acknowledging all aspects of existence, both seen and unseen, and to the deep reverence that the ancient Egyptians held for the mysteries of life and death. Through her quiet, powerful presence, Nephthys teaches us about the value of care and protection in moments of transition. Her legacy is a reminder that even in the darkest corners, there is a divine presence that watches over and guides us, ensuring that every step of our journey is met with reverence and respect. The wind howls through the misty hills of ancient Celtic lands, carrying with it the foreboding presence of a goddess who commands both fear and reverence. The Morrigan, with her dark and potent magic, stands as a towering figure in Celtic mythology, embodying the fierce and unpredictable nature of war and prophecy. Her name is spoken in hushed tones, her power both awe-inspiring and chilling, as she holds dominion over the forces of fate and the chaos of battle. The Morrigan is not just a goddess of war, she is a harbinger of death, her presence a prelude to the inevitable end. Her magical abilities to foretell death are both feared and revered. Those who hear her voice know that their time is near, and the weight of her prophecy hangs heavy in the air. Her visions are a powerful force, revealing the threads of fate that bind every living soul. To encounter the Morrigan's prophecy is to face the raw truth of one's mortality, a reminder of the delicate balance between life and death. In the heat of battle, the Morrigan's influence is undeniable. She is said to have the power to control the outcome of conflicts, her presence shifting the tides of war. Warriors who saw her in their visions knew that their fate was sealed, that their prowess in battle might not be enough to alter the path she had foretold. Her ability to control and influence the battlefield is a reflection of her deep connection to the forces of chaos and destiny. The Morrigan is both a protector and a destroyer, her power shaping the course of human lives in ways both grand and devastating. Rituals involving the Morrigan are steeped in the seriousness of fate and destiny. Those who sought her favor or wished to understand their future would perform elaborate ceremonies, hoping to gain insight into the Morrigan's vast knowledge. Her influence on these rituals is profound, as they are not merely acts of supplication but attempts to align oneself with the currents of fate she governs. The rituals often involved sacrifices and offerings, designed to appease her and seek her guidance. To engage with the Morrigan's magic is to confront the harsh realities of fate and destiny, acknowledging that the threads of one's life are woven into a grander, more enigmatic design. The Morrigan's role in foretelling death is not just about fear, it is about understanding and acceptance. Her prophecies are a stark reminder of the transient nature of life, urging those who hear her to live with purpose and courage. She challenges them to face their destiny head-on, to embrace the inevitability of death with dignity. The Morrigan's presence, while foreboding, serves as a powerful call to live fully and honor the fleeting moments that define our existence. Her control over battle and destiny is not a mere display of power, but a reflection of the intricate balance of life and death. The Morrigan embodies the duality of creation and destruction, the inevitability of endings, and the hope of new beginnings. Her magic is a force that shapes human lives, influencing not only the outcome of battles but the course of individual destinies. She is a reminder that every action, every choice, is part of a larger tapestry woven by the threads of fate. In the heart of battle, where chaos reigns and lives hang in the balance, the Morrigan's influence is a profound force. Her presence is felt in the clashing of swords and the cries of warriors, a reminder that the outcomes of these struggles are shaped by forces beyond human control. Her role is both a comfort and a challenge, offering a glimpse into the deeper currents of fate while reminding us of our place within them. The rituals dedicated to the Morrigan are steeped in reverence and seriousness. They reflect a deep understanding of her power and an acknowledgement of the role she plays in the grand scheme of existence. To seek her favor is to confront the realities of fate and destiny, to acknowledge the forces that govern our lives, and to seek guidance in the face of uncertainty. In the tales and rituals surrounding the Morrigan, there is a sense of the profound and the eternal. Her magic is a reminder of the powerful forces at play in the world, forces that shape our lives and guide our destinies. The Morrigan is both a beacon of hope and a harbinger of change, her presence a testament to the enduring power of prophecy and the ever-present influence of fate. Her legacy is one of strength and foresight, a reminder that the forces of destiny and the chaos of battle are intertwined in a complex dance. The Morrigan stands as a symbol of the raw power of fate, a goddess whose influence stretches across the realms of life and death, reminding us of the fragile and powerful nature of our existence. Her story is a powerful testament to the enduring impact of prophecy and the ever-present hand of destiny in shaping the course of human lives. The river Ganga flows with a grace that seems almost divine, weaving through the heart of India like a living, shimmering thread. Her waters, sacred and pure, hold a spiritual significance that reaches far beyond the physical world. Ganga is not just a river, she is a goddess of profound magic and purification, embodying the essence of both healing and sanctity in Hindu traditions. The story of Ganga is a story of immense power and compassion. According to legend, Ganga descended from the heavens to earth, her journey a celestial event that marked her as a divine force of purification. The descent was no ordinary occurrence, it was a divine act meant to cleanse the world and bring the blessings of the gods to humanity. Ganga's arrival was heralded by the tumultuous yet awe-inspiring sight of her cascading waters, which touched the earth with a transformative power that continues to this day. Her waters are believed to possess extraordinary magical properties. To bathe in the Ganga is to experience a profound spiritual renewal. Pilgrims travel from distant lands, drawn by the promise of her sacred waters to cleanse not just their bodies, but their souls. The act of immersing oneself in Ganga's river is an act of faith, a deep, heartfelt ritual that seeks her divine grace and forgiveness. The river's waters are considered to have the power to wash away sins and bring peace to troubled hearts, making them a symbol of divine mercy and purification. In Hindu traditions, Ganga's significance extends far beyond physical purification. She is revered as a goddess who brings both spiritual and magical blessings to those who seek her. Her waters are not merely a source of physical cleansing, but are seen as a gateway to spiritual awakening and healing. To drink from the Ganga or to collect her water is to hold a piece of her divine essence, a reminder of her presence and her power to heal and renew. The healing properties of Ganga's waters are celebrated in countless rituals and ceremonies. Devotees gather on her banks to offer prayers, perform rites, and make offerings, all while believing in the transformative power of her waters. The river becomes a sacred space where the divine and the mortal meet, where the troubles of the world can be left behind, if only for a moment. The sheer act of being near her, of participating in the rituals associated with her, is seen as a way to connect with the divine, to tap into the healing magic that she embodies. In the ancient texts and hymns dedicated to Ganga, her role as a goddess of purification and magic is clear. She is described as a celestial being whose presence on earth brings about a profound change in the spiritual fabric of the world. Her waters are a symbol of her divine will, a tangible manifestation of her power to cleanse and renew. The descriptions of her waters and the rituals performed in her honor are filled with a sense of reverence and awe, reflecting the deep spiritual connection that people feel with her. The power of Ganga is also seen in the way she nurtures life. Her waters support countless communities, providing sustenance and vitality to those who live along her banks. The river is a lifeline, a source of both physical nourishment and spiritual enrichment. The reverence for Ganga extends to her role as a provider, as a goddess who not only purifies but also sustains and blesses. Ganga's influence on the spiritual and magical practices of Hinduism is immense. Her presence in prayers, rituals, and daily life reflects the deep-seated belief in her divine power. The act of worshiping her is not just a matter of tradition, but a deeply felt expression of devotion and faith. The rituals performed in her honor are imbued with a sense of the sacred, reflecting the profound impact that Ganga has on the lives of those who seek her blessings. Her waters, revered and cherished, are more than just a physical entity, they are a symbol of divine grace and the endless possibilities of spiritual renewal. The act of bathing in her waters is a deeply personal and transformative experience, one that touches the soul and brings a sense of peace and connection. For those who believe, Ganga's waters are a reminder of the divine presence in everyday life, a source of hope and healing in times of need. As the Ganga flows onward, she carries with her the hopes and prayers of countless devotees. Her waters continue to embody the magic and purity that have made her a central figure in Hindu traditions. The river's enduring legacy is a testament to her power to cleanse, heal, and inspire, touching the hearts of those who come into contact with her divine essence. Inanna, the Sumerian queen of heaven, is a figure wrapped in both celestial splendor and haunting mystery. Her story of descent into the underworld is more than just a myth, it is a powerful tale of courage, transformation, and the enigmatic nature of magic itself. Inanna's life is a dramatic tapestry of contrasts. She is a goddess of fertility and love, yet also a fierce warrior. Her powers are vast, reaching across the realms of magic, war, and nature. As a symbol of fertility, she is revered for her ability to bring life and growth to the land. Her influence ensures that crops flourish, and her blessings guarantee the continuation of life. She represents the cycles of nature, where growth and decay, life and death, are interconnected and in constant balance. Yet, it is her journey to the underworld that stands as one of the most compelling chapters in her story. This journey is not merely a descent into darkness, it is a profound voyage that reveals the depth of her magical authority and the transformative power she wields. Inanna's descent is both a literal and metaphorical journey, symbolizing the cyclical nature of existence and the power of renewal. The underworld, ruled by her sister Ereshkigal, represents a place of profound change and challenge. Inanna's decision to descend into this shadowy realm is driven by a quest for greater understanding and power. It is a journey fraught with danger, where she faces trials and tribulations that test her resolve and strength. Her descent into the underworld reveals her bravery and determination, showcasing her ability to confront and navigate the deepest, darkest aspects of existence. Inanna's descent is marked by a series of trials, each designed to strip her of her divine attributes and expose her vulnerabilities. She faces these trials with a combination of courage and cunning, drawing on her immense magical powers to overcome the challenges. Her journey highlights the themes of sacrifice and rebirth, reflecting the cyclical nature of life and the interconnectedness of all things. Her return from the underworld is not just a triumph over darkness, but a testament to her ability to bring balance and harmony. The experience transforms her, deepening her magical authority and expanding her influence. Inanna's return is marked by the rejuvenation of the land, symbolizing the renewal of life and the continuation of natural cycles. Her journey underscores her role as a goddess of immense power, whose magic can bridge the worlds of life and death, creation and destruction. Inanna's role extends beyond her journey to the underworld. She wields great magical authority, shaping the world around her with her powers. Her influence is felt in both the physical and spiritual realms, where her magic ensures the fertility of the land and the well-being of her people. As a goddess of war, she is also a fierce protector, using her powers to defend her realm and maintain order. Her abilities encompass both creation and destruction, reflecting her complex nature and the balance she maintains between opposing forces. The magic associated with Inanna is both awe-inspiring and profound. Her powers are a reflection of her divine nature, allowing her to control and influence the world around her. Her ability to navigate the underworld and return with renewed strength is a testament to her mastery of magic and her role as a formidable goddess. Inanna's story is a powerful reminder of the strength and resilience required to face life's challenges and the transformative power that comes from embracing both light and darkness. Inanna's legacy endures as a symbol of the divine interplay between life and death, fertility and war, magic and transformation. Her story is a poignant reminder of the power of courage and resilience, and the profound impact of embracing the full spectrum of existence. Through her journey, Inanna teaches us about the cyclical nature of life and the magic that lies in the balance of opposing forces. Her tale continues to inspire and captivate, reflecting the timeless power of divine magic and the enduring strength of the human spirit. In the twilight of ancient Welsh landscapes, where mist kisses the rolling hills and legends whisper through the trees, Rhiannon stands as a beacon of magic and mystery. Her name, synonymous with horses and enchantment, evokes the wild freedom of the open fields and the mystical connection between the earthly and the divine. Rhiannon's story is one of both grace and power, embodied in her profound connection to horses. These majestic creatures are not just companions, but symbols of her sovereignty and her link to the otherworldly. In Welsh mythology, Rhiannon is often depicted riding a magnificent white horse, a creature that carries her across both physical and mystical realms. Her steeds are more than mere animals, they are enchanted beings that embody the spirit of freedom and the power of transformation. The legends tell of Rhiannon's magical abilities, which are as enchanting as they are formidable. Her horses are not just swift and strong, they are imbued with a magic that defies the ordinary. These horses can travel great distances with ease, a reflection of Rhiannon's own transcendence between worlds. They are symbols of her power to bridge the gap between the mortal and the divine, carrying her across the boundaries of reality and into the realms of the gods. Her association with horses extends beyond mere companionship. Rhiannon's steeds are deeply connected to her role as a goddess of sovereignty. In Welsh myths, horses often represent authority and control, and Rhiannon's magical horses are a testament to her right to rule and her influence over the natural and supernatural worlds. Her connection to these creatures reflects her divine status and her ability to command the forces of nature with grace and wisdom. Rhiannon's enchantments are not limited to her horses. Her presence in Welsh myths is marked by a deep connection to otherworldly realms, where she wields her magical powers with elegance and strength. She is a goddess of transformation, guiding souls between worlds and ensuring the harmony of both. Her magic is a blend of beauty and potency, touching the lives of those who encounter her and leaving an indelible mark on their destinies. The stories of Rhiannon are filled with enchantment and wonder. In one tale, she is wrongfully accused of a crime and punished with a curse that forces her to carry heavy burdens and endure relentless scorn. Yet, even in her trials, Rhiannon's spirit remains unbroken. Her endurance and grace in the face of adversity highlight her inner strength and her ability to rise above challenges with dignity. This tale of resilience and redemption underscores her role as a figure of both compassion and authority, whose magic can overcome even the darkest of fates. In Welsh mythology, Rhiannon's influence extends to matters of love and fate. Her enchanting presence is said to affect the hearts of those who encounter her, weaving a web of romance and destiny. Her magical connection to horses and the otherworldly realms reflects her power to shape lives and guide souls. Her story is a testament to the enduring power of love and the mystical forces that govern our lives. Rhiannon's legacy is a tapestry of magic and enchantment, woven with threads of sovereignty, transformation, and otherworldly connection. Her horses are symbols of her divine grace and her ability to traverse the boundaries between worlds. Her presence in Welsh myths serves as a reminder of the power of magic and the enduring influence of the divine in our lives. In the quiet moments of the Welsh countryside, where the magic of Rhiannon still lingers in the air, her story continues to captivate and inspire. Her connection to horses, her magical abilities, and her role as a goddess of sovereignty reflect a timeless enchantment that transcends the ordinary. Rhiannon's presence is a reminder of the magic that exists in the world and the divine forces that shape our destinies. Her legacy endures as a symbol of grace, power, and the profound connection between the mortal and the divine. In the shadowy depths of night, where the flickering of candles casts eerie shapes on ancient walls, Kali's presence emerges with raw, unfiltered power. Her image, fierce and unyielding, embodies the essence of destruction and rebirth. Her story is a powerful testament to the transformative magic that lies in the heart of destruction. Kali is not merely a goddess of destruction, but a symbol of the profound and sometimes painful changes that must occur for new beginnings to take root. Her dark, fierce visage, adorned with skulls and a necklace of severed heads, may seem terrifying, but she represents the necessary destruction that paves the way for regeneration. Her magic is not arbitrary, it is a divine force that clears away the old, making space for the new. In Hindu traditions, Kali is a divine force of transformation. She dances upon the ashes of what once was, her steps marking the end of old cycles and the birth of new ones. Her power lies in her ability to annihilate the outdated, the oppressive, and the obsolete, making way for growth and renewal. This destructive power is not something to be feared but revered, as it brings about the change necessary for spiritual awakening and personal growth. Kali's influence extends deeply into tantric rituals, where she plays a central role in practices meant to achieve liberation. These rituals, rich in symbolism and steeped in tradition, invoke Kali's power to transcend the illusions of the material world. Her presence in these rituals is both fierce and nurturing, guiding practitioners through the process of confronting their deepest fears and shedding the layers of their ego. By embracing Kali's transformative power, they are able to break free from the constraints of the physical world and experience a profound spiritual awakening. Her role in these practices is not simply to destroy but to liberate. Kali's magic is about breaking the chains that bind the soul and allowing it to rise to its true, unshackled self. Through the intense rituals dedicated to her, devotees confront their inner demons and the darker aspects of their psyche, allowing Kali to help them transcend these limitations. The destruction she brings is a cleansing fire that burns away ignorance and falsehood, leaving only the essence of truth and enlightenment. Kali's transformative power is also evident in her relationship with her devotees. She is both a fierce protector and a nurturing mother, embodying a paradox that is central to her divine nature. Her terrifying appearance contrasts with her deep compassion, reflecting the duality of creation and destruction. This duality is crucial in understanding Kali's role in spiritual practices. She is a force that helps individuals confront their innermost fears and, through that confrontation, achieve a higher state of consciousness. In the vibrant rituals held in her honor, devotees often find themselves face to face with their deepest fears and darkest emotions. Kali's presence in these moments is overwhelming, but it is also deeply liberating. The intensity of her energy helps to dissolve the barriers between the individual self and the universal consciousness, facilitating a transformative experience that is both profound and deeply moving. The essence of Kali's magic lies in its ability to bring about profound change. Her destructive power is not an end, but a beginning, a necessary step in the process of spiritual and personal evolution. Through her, devotees learn that true liberation comes not from avoiding destruction, but from embracing it as a necessary part of the path to enlightenment. Her divine energy helps to dismantle the illusions that bind the soul, paving the way for a deeper, more authentic connection with the divine. Kali's legacy is a powerful reminder of the importance of transformation in the spiritual journey. Her magic, fierce and relentless, clears away the old to make room for the new, guiding her devotees through a process of profound change. Her role in tantric rituals and magical practices highlights the transformative power of destruction and the importance of embracing it as a necessary step toward liberation and enlightenment. Through her, the sacred dance of creation and destruction continues, weaving a tapestry of divine power that inspires and transforms. In the moonlit forests of ancient Italy, where shadows dance and whispers of old magic linger in the air, the figure of Aradia emerges as a beacon of hope and rebellion. Her story is one of defiance and empowerment, where she stands as the queen of witches, a protector of the oppressed, and a symbol of resilience against tyranny. Aradia's legend paints her as a fierce and compassionate leader, someone who rises from the depths of despair to lead the downtrodden and disenfranchised. Her tale begins with the raw anguish of those who have suffered under the weight of injustice and cruelty. As the daughter of the moon goddess Diana, she embodies the very essence of mystical power and resistance. Aradia's magic is not just about spells and rituals, it is a profound, guiding force that offers solace and strength to those who are oppressed. Her story unfolds against a backdrop of harsh social realities, where she becomes a beacon of hope for the marginalized and the powerless. In her, people find not just a goddess, but a revolutionary spirit who stands against the injustices of her time. Her role as a queen of witches is not merely symbolic, it represents a call to arms against the forces that seek to subjugate and silence the vulnerable. Aradia's power is rooted in her ability to inspire and mobilize, giving voice and strength to those who have been silenced for too long. The evolution of Aradia's myth in witchcraft and modern neopaganism reflects her enduring significance as a symbol of empowerment and resistance. Over time, her story has transcended its origins, finding a place in the hearts and practices of those who seek to reclaim their power and challenge oppressive systems. In the practices of modern witchcraft and neopaganism, Aradia is honored not just as a historical figure, but as a living embodiment of the fight for justice and the pursuit of personal sovereignty. Aradia's influence in these traditions is profound. Her legacy serves as a reminder that magic is not just a tool for personal gain, but a means of achieving broader social and spiritual change. The rituals and practices inspired by her story emphasize the importance of standing up for oneself and others, using magical practices to challenge and transform the structures of power that seek to oppress and control. Her role as a protector of the oppressed highlights the ethical dimensions of magic, reinforcing the idea that true power lies in using one's abilities to uplift and defend those who are vulnerable. The heart of Aradia's magic lies in its capacity to bring about transformation. Her story is one of courage and defiance, a narrative that resonates deeply with those who seek to overcome adversity and injustice. Through her, people learn that magic is a force for empowerment and liberation, a means of confronting and dismantling the systems that perpetuate suffering. Her influence extends beyond the rituals and symbols of witchcraft, embodying a spirit of resilience and resistance that inspires and uplifts. In honoring Aradia, practitioners of modern witchcraft and neopaganism find a powerful symbol of hope and empowerment. Her story reminds them that their magical practices are not isolated from the world but are deeply connected to the struggles and triumphs of those who have come before them. Aradia's legacy as the Queen of Witches and protector of the oppressed serves as a guiding light, a source of inspiration that encourages them to use their magic not just for personal benefit but as a means of bringing about positive change in the world. The tale of Aradia, with its blend of mysticism and revolutionary spirit, continues to captivate and inspire. Her story is a testament to the power of magic as a force for good, a means of challenging injustice and championing the cause of the oppressed. As her legend evolves and endures, Aradia remains a powerful symbol of resilience, empowerment, and the transformative potential of magic. Through her, the ancient traditions of witchcraft and neopaganism find a living, breathing embodiment of their deepest values and aspirations, carrying forward a legacy of hope and defiance that continues to inspire and uplift. When the moon rises high in the night sky, casting its soft, silvery glow across the world, it is the spirit of Selene, the Greek goddess of the moon, who weaves her magic. Her presence is felt in every moonlit night, in every dream that flutters like a shadow through the dark, and in every mystical ritual that seeks to harness the power of the moon. Selene's influence is profound, touching every aspect of lunar magic and the ancient practices that revolve around her. Selene is often depicted driving her chariot across the night sky, her silvery cloak flowing behind her like a trail of stardust. Her eyes are filled with the mysteries of the cosmos, and her touch brings a calm, reflective light to the world below. It is in this gentle, soothing light that the magic of the moon comes alive, influencing dreams, rituals, and mystical practices. The power of moonlight in ancient Greek magical traditions is immense. Under the pale glow of Selene's light, magic takes on a special quality. The moonlight is not merely a physical phenomenon, it is a conduit of mystical energy that enhances spells and rituals, allowing them to reach deeper into the realms of the unseen. The ancient Greeks believed that the moon's light was imbued with divine power, capable of illuminating hidden truths and unlocking the secrets of the universe. Selene's role in lunar magic extends to the dreams that whisper in the quiet of the night. She is the guardian of dreams, her presence weaving through the subconscious, guiding and shaping the visions that come to us as we sleep. These dreams are seen as messages from the divine, offering insight and guidance, and they are often interpreted through the lens of lunar magic. Under Selene's influence, dreams become more vivid, more meaningful, and more closely connected to the spiritual world. In ancient rituals, the moon was honored with reverence and devotion. Temples and sacred spaces dedicated to Selene were adorned with symbols of the moon, and rituals were performed under her light to harness her power. Offerings were made, chants were sung, and prayers were whispered into the night, seeking Selene's favor and guidance. The moon's cycles, waxing, full, and waning, were carefully observed, each phase bringing its own set of magical opportunities and challenges. The waxing moon, with its growing light, was seen as a time of growth and manifestation, a period when intentions and desires could be brought to fruition. The full moon, in all its radiant glory, was a time of completion and illumination, when hidden truths were revealed and powerful spells were performed. The waning moon, with its retreating light, was a period of release and transformation, a time to let go of what no longer served and prepare for new beginnings. Selene's influence also extends to the natural world, where her light transforms the landscape into a shimmering, ethereal realm. The moonlit night becomes a canvas for magic, where the mundane is touched by the divine and the ordinary is made extraordinary. It is in this magical nightscape that rituals and spells come to life, as the boundaries between the physical and the spiritual blur, allowing for a deeper connection with the divine. The impact of Selene on the lives of those who honor her is profound. Her light offers a sense of calm and serenity, a reminder of the beauty and mystery of the night. In her glow, individuals find solace and inspiration, their hearts and minds open to the wonders of the universe. The rituals performed under her light become acts of devotion, a way of aligning with the rhythms of the cosmos and tapping into the divine energy that she embodies. Selene's legacy is one of enchantment and illumination. Her presence in the night sky is a constant reminder of the magic that exists in the world, a gentle whisper of the divine that calls to those who seek to understand and connect with the mysteries of the universe. Her influence over lunar magic, dreams, and mystical rituals continues to inspire and uplift, guiding those who walk in her light toward a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. Yemaya, the Yoruba goddess of the ocean, holds a power as vast and mysterious as the sea herself. Her presence is felt in the rhythmic waves that crash upon the shore, and the gentle lapping of tides against the sand, and in the boundless expanse of the ocean. As the goddess of the sea, fertility, and protection, Yemaya's magic weaves through every drop of water, every breath of wind, and every heartbeat of those who revere her. The sea, under Yemaya's watchful gaze, is more than just a body of water. It is a living entity, a powerful force of nature that nurtures and protects. Yemaya's magic is intricately tied to the ocean's ability to give life, as well as its capacity to offer solace and refuge. She is the mother of all, her nurturing spirit reflected in the sea's ability to sustain life and its role as a source of comfort and safety. Her influence extends far beyond the African coast, reaching into the Caribbean and Latin American regions where her worship has blossomed into vibrant and diverse traditions. In these cultures, Yemaya is honored with reverence and devotion, her presence felt in the ceremonies, songs, and dances that celebrate her power. She is seen as a protector of the vulnerable and a guardian of those in need, her magical touch offering both physical and spiritual nourishment. Yemaya's role as a goddess of fertility is deeply significant. Her magic is believed to enhance the fertility of the land, ensuring bountiful harvests and thriving crops. Her blessings extend to the womb, aiding those who seek to conceive and bringing new life into the world. Her connection to fertility is not just about the physical aspect, but also the nurturing and protection that she provides to all life forms. In the rituals and ceremonies dedicated to Yemaya, the ocean becomes a sacred space where her presence is invoked. Offerings of fruits, flowers, and other gifts are cast into the sea, symbolizing respect and gratitude. The water is not merely a backdrop but an active participant in the worship of Yemaya, its waves carrying prayers and intentions to the goddess. Her followers perform dances and songs that celebrate her power, their movements reflecting the ebb and flow of the ocean's tides. The significance of Yemaya's magic is also evident in the way she is invoked for protection. Her presence is called upon to safeguard individuals and communities from harm. She is seen as a shield against danger, her soothing waters offering a sense of security and peace. In times of distress, Yemaya's followers turn to her, seeking her comfort and guidance to navigate through life's challenges. Yemaya's influence on African, Caribbean, and Latin American magical practices is profound. In these traditions, she is not just a distant deity but an active and engaged presence in the lives of her devotees. Her rituals are performed with great care and devotion, reflecting the deep respect and love that her followers have for her. Her magic is seen as a vital force that connects the earthly realm with the divine, bridging the gap between the seen and the unseen. Her significance in these practices extends to the way she is represented and honored. In the Caribbean and Latin American traditions, Yemaya is often depicted with symbols of the sea, such as shells and starfish, and is associated with the colors blue and white, reflecting the ocean's depths and purity. Her festivals are marked by elaborate celebrations that include music, dance, and feasts, all dedicated to honoring her and expressing gratitude for her blessings. Yemaya's magic is a testament to the powerful connection between nature and the divine. Her role as the goddess of the ocean is not just about the sea's physical presence, but about the spiritual and emotional impact that she has on those who revere her. Her nurturing spirit, her role as a protector, and her connection to fertility and life make her a beloved and central figure in the spiritual practices of many cultures. In every wave that crashes on the shore, in every gentle ripple of the ocean, and in every drop of rain that falls from the sky, Yamaya's magic flows. Her influence is felt in the depth of the sea, and in the heart of her followers, her presence a constant reminder of the powerful, nurturing, and protective force that she embodies. Through her magic, Yamaya touches the lives of all who honor her, offering them the gift of her boundless love and protection. Across centuries and cultures, the goddesses of magic have woven a tapestry of wonder and reverence. These powerful figures, each with their unique domains and characteristics, have left an indelible mark on the spiritual and magical traditions of humanity. Their stories are not just tales of old, but living testaments to the enduring influence of the divine feminine. From the ancient lands of Mesopotamia to the lush forests of Celtic lands, the goddess figures who controlled the elements, guided destinies, and influenced human lives continue to captivate our imaginations. Each goddess, whether it be Inanna descending to the underworld or Yamaya nurturing the seas, reflects a deep and profound connection between the divine and the everyday struggles and triumphs of humanity. Their magic was not confined to mere superstition, but was a vibrant, transformative force that shaped the lives and beliefs of those who worshipped them. The magic these goddesses wielded was often both beautiful and terrifying, embodying the complexities of nature itself. They were not just distant figures of adoration, but active participants in the spiritual and physical worlds. The way they influenced crops, the fertility of the land, the flow of water, and the very course of fate highlights their profound impact. Their stories are imbued with powerful emotions, love, fear, hope, and awe that resonate deeply with the human experience. Inanna's descent into the underworld, for example, is more than a myth. It represents a journey of transformation, a powerful narrative about rebirth and the cyclical nature of existence. Similarly, the goddess Kali, with her fierce and consuming power, embodies the duality of creation and destruction, reminding us of the necessity of endings to pave the way for new beginnings. Each goddess, in her own way, holds a mirror to our own lives, reflecting the struggles, dreams, and hopes that define us. As we move through history, the influence of these magical goddesses continues to ripple through modern spiritual and magical practices. In contemporary settings, their stories and attributes are embraced in ways that honor their ancient legacies while adapting to the needs of modern practitioners. Rituals, symbols, and ceremonies from these ancient traditions are revived and reinterpreted, showing that the power of these goddesses is far from forgotten. They continue to inspire and guide those who seek their wisdom, offering comfort, strength, and a sense of connection to something greater. The reverence for these goddesses in modern times is evident in the way their symbols and rituals are woven into contemporary spiritual practices. In pagan and neo-pagan traditions, the worship of these ancient deities is alive and vibrant. They are celebrated not only for their historical significance, but for their continued relevance in a world that often feels disconnected from its roots. The reverence for goddesses like Selene, with her control over the moon and dreams, or Bridget, with her gifts of inspiration and healing, demonstrates how these ancient figures continue to provide guidance and inspiration. The enduring legacy of these goddesses is a testament to the universal and timeless nature of their power. Their influence transcends cultural and geographic boundaries, resonating with people from diverse backgrounds who find meaning and strength in their stories. In a world that is constantly evolving, their presence serves as a reminder of the profound connection between humanity and the divine, between the physical and the spiritual. The goddesses of magic remind us of the beauty and complexity of life, the strength found in transformation, and the deep-seated need for spiritual connection. Their stories continue to inspire and move us, showing that the magic they embody is as relevant today as it was in ancient times. Each goddess, with her unique attributes and powers, leaves a legacy that enriches our understanding of the world and our place within it. As we honor their traditions and incorporate their wisdom into our own lives, we keep their magic alive, allowing it to shape and guide us in meaningful ways.